Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. Wife accuses husband of cheating but he has a surprise for her. NSFW. TLDR-wife accuses husband of cheating but he has a surprise for her. He recorded the conversation on his cell phone and I transcribed some of it. So, the posts I've written and posted here previously were written because a friend, an actor, asked me to help him put a play together with scenes that illustrate couples' relations. That is why I began coming here and reading stories. But, the truth is, I really prefer to know these stories by looking people in the eyes, as I get a better sense of the emotions that are behind the stories, which are the main point of doing the play. So, I've put out the word to my friends and he did the same, and some people agreed to share their stories. So, I've seen a lot of pain in people's eyes when they talk about what they went through. But nothing prepared me for what I heard yesterday. So, this comes from a person known by a friend of the actor. We talked a few times about what is going on in his life, and it's a story that is going on for 10 years now. But yesterday he called me and said that he would like to talk to me about some developments and we went for a coffee after dinner. After a bit of small talk I asked him what was up and he just handed me his cell phone and showed me a recording of the conversation he had with his wife a couple of days ago. I'm not going to include a backstory, as it's all below, in his own words, throughout the conversation. So F will be the friend and FW is friend's wife. F, so for the record, you've just entered the office in our house and asked me if I'm having an affair and I asked you to record this conversation before answering. Is this correct? FW, yes, it is, so are you going to answer me? Angry voice, almost screaming. F, yes. FW, yes, you'll answer me? F, yes, I'm having an affair. FW, how long has this been going on? F, are you asking about the woman I've been with? About 2 years. FW, shouting, 2 years? You've been unfaithful for 2 years? F, no, I've been unfaithful for 6 years. More to the point, since the 6th of April of 2015. Yes, it was my birthday. I hired a call girl and spent a few hours in a motel. FW, you're a piece of shit, you know? Why would you do this to me? F, well, do you really want to have this conversation? Do you really want to go into the why? I'll tell you why. 9 years ago you started to act different. And I couldn't wrap my head around why. There was nothing fundamentally different between us and yet, suddenly everything changed. I started to have to walk on eggshells around you. It seemed that the fact that I breathed was irritating to you. And I spent some time lost, wondering why, and trying to do the best I could, but things just seemed to be getting worse all the time. And then our fun time, that was almost non-existent, stopped altogether. Then I found a piece of a condom wrapper in the car, as I was cleaning it and suddenly the reason became clear. She tries to say something and mumbles but he stops her. F, if you want to know why, you'll know why, just let me continue and then you'll say whatever you want to say. So, in that moment I felt a pain like I never experienced, I felt emasculated, low. I felt there must be something wrong with me. I wanted to hurt you, I wanted to hurt me, but then I thought of the kids and the fact that I loved you so much. I decided I would win you back. But everything I did just seemed to annoy you. I took you to fancy restaurants, on romantic dates, took you on vacation to places that you always said you wanted to get to know, but, in reality, you were never there. You were glued to your cell phone and I was completely transparent. You excused yourself with overtime and work functions and I picked up the house, the kids. You did nothing, except work and when you were at home, your cell phone was your world. But I was still trying. She can be heard crying in the background. From that time on we had some sort of half-baked pity sex on 2 occasions, the 6th of April 2013 and 2014. On your birthday, in 2014 I went overboard, tried to plan the perfect evening for us as a family, for you just to bail out, calling at the last minute saying you were stuck at work and would be late. Can you imagine the faces of our girls when you did this? Well, of course you can, but you never bothered to. They were heartbroken. This was the beginning of the end, for me. I was going to divorce you and explode yours and your lover's life. Hired a pie, found all the proof that I needed, all your dirty getaways. Found where the guy lived, found his wife. I followed them, you know. And guess what, you can't even imagine how sweet your lover is to his wife. Maybe he is overcompensating because of his guilt. And then I saw his kids and I just couldn't bring myself to explode their marriage. So, I talked to lawyers about starting the divorce proceedings, but then I started to see how this impacted us, financially, how it impacted our lives and the lives of the kids. But, let me tell you, at that time, if I had found a way to get away with murder, I would have strangled you with my own hands. And then my 2015 birthday arrived and there was not even the half-baked pity sex, not even a kiss, not even a card. You completely forgot. FW, crying and shouting, well, it's not like you did anything for my birthdays either. Yes, but I did not forget them. I purposely didn't give a damn about them. But in your case I do believe that I was so unimportant to you that you really forgot. And if you didn't, well, then we are on the same boat, aren't we? She just cries. So, that night I hired an escort and banged her in the same motel you were at with your lover. And then I decided that the kids were really the most important thing, that not messing them up with all this was important, because they were already suffering from the neglect you were showing them. FW, neglect? What are you talking about? You want to ask them how they feel? Go ahead. Go talk to them and ask them. I dare you. Silence. So, that's when we really had some blowouts, if you remember. But, you know, I knew your lover would never leave his family, so, I knew that unless I did something, you wouldn't either. And, if you did, well, I had really nothing to lose and, in the end, we would manage. That's when I stopped doing everything and started calling you out when you were in a bad mood because the clothes weren't washed or ironed and I started to tell you to do it yourself. FW, and so you decided to go behind my back. No. You are completely wrong. I never went behind your back. I never told you, but never hid it. At first there was really nothing to talk about. After a dead bedroom for 3 years, my confidence that any woman would even look at me didn't exist. But I started to gain some self-respect back, started working out more, stopped drinking and smoking, started eating better, started living for the girls. And you know what? Can you imagine how many divorced soccer mums are out there? It seemed that I wasn't that bad, after all. It seemed that the problem wasn't me, it was you. Then, 2 years ago I met my current girlfriend. The kids know her, at family events where you didn't want to go, from my side of the family, never took her to your parents, even though they know. FW, my parents know? Of course. I told them. I didn't want some rumors to get to them and didn't want misunderstandings. I wanted them to know what was happening in our lives and their grandkids' lives. I asked everybody to keep it a secret because, as I didn't want to disrupt our lives, didn't want the drama and everything else, and as our marriage was just a piece of paper. FW, everybody knows all of this? Just the kids and our immediate families. That's why I never went back to your parents' house and why I stopped telling you to come to mine. But, going back, I never hid it from you. I left Facebook Messenger open, my mail is logged in on our home computer, my phone doesn't have a password. You just never cared, the same way that I didn't feel obligated to tell you. And, after I fell out of love with you, I didn't care either. After all, we didn't even talk. We spent weeks where we didn't say a word to one another. We became two strangers living under the same roof, nothing more, and that is what we are. She just cries, and cries. but I knew this conversation would be coming. To be honest, I never expected it would begin with you accusing me of cheating. I think even you can see the hypocrisy. Remember the phones I gave you for your birthday through the years? You think I did it because I loved you? Nope. They all had spyware on them. I've been reading your conversation for, at least, 5 years now, so I know where you've been, when. If I want to, I can even know how many times you ducked him in the backseat of your car or his. And then, without warning, all communication stopped 2 months ago. And I saw how depressed you were around the house as, all of a sudden, your work didn't need you as much as it used to, wonder why, and then I did some digging and found out about his accident, how he is paraplegic and being taken care of by the wife he was never going to leave, how he can't even move his arms to send you a farewell text. And I saw how nice you started to be to our girls and to me, even though you were depressed. I knew this was coming. So, I'm going to tell you how it's going to be. If you want a divorce, I've got 9 years of proof of infidelity and I will take you to the cleaners. If you want to get out of the house, but not get divorced, you can, but that is solely your problem, financially speaking. I would advise you to keep things as they are, at least until our youngest goes out to college in a couple of years. You can find another boyfriend or have your hookups, as long as you are discreet. Even though I know it will be different now, because you are almost 50, and you can always find someone to bone you, but I doubt you'll find someone that wants something more meaningful. As for me, life will go on, as it has in the last 9 years. There was more stuff in the recording, but this was the important part, as I saw it. I asked him if I could transcribe it and put it here and he agreed, so he knows this is posted. Don't know if he is a Reddit user. How do you guys feel about what his life was for the last 9, almost 10, years? As always, sorry for grammar and some errors, as I'm not a native English speaker. That friend played her at her own game and won big time, clapping hands, clapping hands, clapping hands. Well, he said he just did the math, and it would be costly to divorce. And as she despised him and didn't even talk to him, most of the time, he just went on with life without all of the paperwork. But he says that, in his mind, he is divorced. Moral of the story, boys, do your math. Someday it'll come in handy, smiley face. Oh yes. People that say math is worthless did never go through a divorce. LOL. I was listening to the convo while having a beer with him and I just said, dude, you are my hero. LOL. Yep. He's my new hero now. Me too. He didn't play. He was the game master. Agree. There wasn't even a game. Smile. I really love to hear an update on this. Wow, what a play. I wondered if the kids knew about the mom's affair. Yes, the kids know. They know their dad's girlfriend. Their mother neglected them for years. Only the affair mattered. Now she is paying the price. Wow, what an item she is. Please update if there any. I will, if there's developments from this. Smile. Would you be willing to do a full transcription of the recording? I think I can speak for others when I say we would love to see it. I had a similar situation. Found out she was having an affair, so I got my proof and confronted her, made her the offer that she can do her thing and I'll do mine till our youngest graduates high school. She chose to move to a different state to be with this guy and just gave me full custody of my 2 kids. I hate the pain my kids are dealing with, but I'm thankful she's gone too. I think it's less painful for them this way. It is. She would only make them miserable, both your lives would be miserable and that would affect the kids too. Better that way. Away from sight. Smile. She's an ugly person in the world, she's failed that test. In the future definitely you will get the best loyal life partner. Thank you. I hope I do. This post is poetically sad, almost like a Greek tragedy. I can't imagine the burden of this situation. The burden of your friend, knowing the truth about his wife. The burden of the family, knowing the pain of the husband and the infidelity of the wife. The burden of the kids, years of neglect. The burden of the affair partner, knowing the accident is probably karma and that he doesn't deserve his own wife. And finally, the burden of the wife, knowing how she ruined everything and the realization that she is the villain in everyone's life. That's a lot of damage to soak in, and at the end she has to live with herself and her decisions. Damn. I wish all of them the best in this mess. Virtual hugs for your friend. It is, indeed, a sad situation. I guess he did the best he could with the hand he was dealt. The thing is, apart from her family, he told her parents that if they said something he would file for divorce, file for sole custody. Infidelity is still grounds for divorce in my neck of the woods and plays a big role in everything related, and they would never see their granddaughters again. That's why they kept quiet, but their relationship with their daughter suffered a lot. Everybody else just moved on. Now that it's all out, I don't know what will really happen. Now that it's all out, I don't know what will really happen. Probably the same that happens in these scenarios. He will move on and be happy, and she will be hit with the regrets. It never ceased to surprise me how much damage cheating does to so many people, especially to themselves, how selfish it is, all of this for the thrill of the moment. SHM, truly a shame. This man is a boss. This is a wonderful, heartwarming story. If there are any updates in the future, I'd love to hear them. I wouldn't really call it heartwarming. He would have divorced her if it wouldn't ruin their lives, financially speaking. The kids, at this stage, wouldn't mind if he did. Not that they despise their mother, but she neglected them so much that by now they are closer to the dad's girlfriend. But, as the saying says, if life gives lemons, it's tequila time. Smile. The heartwarming part for me is how he handled it, the way he kept everything together, and still managed to completely own her. Plus, the way he cut her to pieces with nothing but the truth during the conversation. Definitely not the bullshit that she put him and the family through. Nothing but respect for this man. He took a situation that would have destroyed most men, made it work, and came out on top. Boss level. As I said above, if life gives you lemons. I guess you are right. The way you deal with a situation, whatever it is, says much more about you than any words you can say. Smile. He beat her at her own game and now she's a sore loser. Yes, he did smile. Usually it's the cheaters that always accuse their spouses of cheating, projecting themselves onto the others. Typical gaslighting behavior. The audacity of the cheater to confront her husband is beyond me. And this man took infidelity to the next level as far as a friend zoning his wife to nothing but a roommate while he goes and gets himself a girlfriend to live his own life. That's much more brutal than a divorce. But honestly, she deserved it. However, the husband deserves so much better. He literally accepted that his wife will always remain a cheater and went on with spending his life with her. A bittersweet ending. Indeed, but one has to deal with all other things in life, so. It was what he thought would work, and he made it work. Smile. One wow up, my heart is still racing, what a story. Go get in touch with you/Kermit the Frog. He had a similar story, where he caught his wife cheating. He gathered all evidence, and set of a chain of events one Christmas morning which would annihilate his wife's life, to the point, in which she today is just an empty shell of herself. But this friend is the mother of badasses. It feels good that there's someone who's able to overcome the odds, and turns the table to his advantage. Did I turn my table? Well, I survived a war of roses, and bought the one who parks her broom in front of her house. Living in a no-fault situation screws you bad. But then, money talks and bullshit walks, isn't it? He is curiously a very soft person. You wouldn't say he had it in him to do this. Even during the recording, he never raises his voice, always talks in a soft tone, like if he was talking to a child. And, believe me, that was strange to hear. He won the game before it even started. He has nothing less than my respect. Well, you can't lose if you are not playing. He did great, but I do not know if I could do this 9 fucking years all of this. I guess I would explode, mind blown, if I would find out what he knows. Well, what kept them grounded were the kids. They have low income and divorcing would mean losing the house and finding less than optimal living arrangements, and that would really be bad for the kids. So, he divorced her in his mind, and she was just someone that lived under the same roof and helped with expenses. But you can see in his face and mostly in his eyes how much he endured. What a train wreck. The whole family is a sideshow. Yep. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.